Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel.
I'm glad you finally decided that's what it's going to be.
Well, I always want you to have it the way you want it. Makes her happy, makes me happy.
Well, this is an interesting video because it's actually one we did at the very beginning of all this, and we've just never edited it and put it out. But that's because it really goes with this time of the year.
It does.
It's a before and after we did of a P91 walker.
With black hair. They're kind of hard to find.
And this little girl, she got a kind of a special outfit. She came with skates, ice skates.
That's what started the whole thing.
Yep. And so we thought, what goes better with ice skates than a fur cape and muff?
Yeah.
Well, you look like you're nice and snuggly.
As it gets colder,
I mean, right now.
I'll get furrier.
Oh, you get furrier. Let's not go there.
Yeah, cape, muff. When it gets colder, you know, 30 below.
Yeah. All right. Let's watch the video. Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's before and after. This little girl is a Toni, an Ideal Toni doll, which is a hard plastic doll. We have been showing some of these dolls recently. She has a nylon wig, and this is what she came in. So
it's a vintage dress.
Yep, it's a vintage dress.
And vintage.
Yeah, she is going to, when she's done, she is going to have these ice skates. So when we do her restoration, we're going to do it with the winter in mind. Here is some of the trim that we are going to add to this dress. We're going to make the dress fit her, and we're going to put trims and things on it to make it fit the theme that she will be.
She has a beautiful, full, rare black wig. And that will go really well with this snow theme. She's going to end up with a fur cape and a fur band in her hair. And of course her hair will be totally beautifully done.
Don't forget why she's so special. She's a walker.
And the other thing is, yes, she is a walker. And a walker is a doll that when you move her legs back and forth, her head goes back and forth with her. And she also can sit, but she's on a stand, so I'm not going to do that right now. She also can sit, and she has an extremely beautiful original face. Her face is just very colorful and very beautiful. This is the dress that I'm working on that is going to go on the P91 walker with the black hair. It came all crinkled up because that's the type of fabric, because it's vintage. So usually I do the repairs before I wash it, but in this case I washed and pressed it first so that I would have a better idea of where the problems were, because it was all crinkled. So the first thing you do is go through and find out where there are some problems. We have a problem here. The lace is separated. Let's see if I can get that so you can see it. The lace is separated here. I think we have some up here on the collar. I think we have some on the other sleeve. I know there's lace separated to different places.
And you're just going to hand sew them, right?
And I'm just going to hand sew that down. And usually on vintage, that fine, I will use one thread, not two threads. I won't double my thread. The next thing you would do is look at the seams. Back in those days, they didn't finish seams. So here I've turned it inside out. It's hard to see because it's black. But you go through and you find if there are any threads. Did you see that? There are any threads that are loose. It looks to me like this one might have been finished. There's a little hole that will be fixed. You can see my finger through it. See that? That will be repaired. and we cut off all those extra threads.
So what kind of trim are you putting on it?
The trim we're going to put on this because it's going to have a winter theme. That is, it's already been purchased. This is a custom. This is custom. She chose this dress. The dress the doll came in. She wanted to keep it original. Even though it isn't original to a Toni, it originally came on the dress.
Doll.
On the doll, excuse me. So it's and it's vintage. So she chose to keep that, and she wants the ice skates, so it's going to be a winter theme. This, I started at the back. See, there's a piece I'll be cutting off. We started at the back seam, and I will just stitch through here. I'm covering up the original lace, but I am not compromising that it is an original vintage piece, because the lace that I'm putting on it, if anybody ever wanted to remove it, they could remove it, and it would not show any problems or just any destruction to the original garment.
Does this one need to be fitted to the doll?
I don't know yet. Once I have to do all this first.
And that's all going to be hand sewn.
It's all hand sewn here. Needle, thread, scissors. That's all it takes. And I'm going to sew that on because it's going to make a difference. It will make a difference how it fits the doll. It'll make a difference how it lays, because it's a very, very fine fabric and it's very old.
Okay.
So that's when I'll know whether I have to fit it to the doll or not, once this is complete. Well, this is the finished product of the dress that we showed you earlier, with the old lace still intact. We just tacked on this newer lace, gives it a whole new life. It came with these two loops to run this very wide ribbon through. So I folded the loops and folded halfway and then halfway again. And then I secured it so that when we bring it back here and we do the buttons, we have a beautiful ribbon, the width of the way it came originally. So this is part of the transformation of this doll that we have showed you, and I can't find the other part of the ribbon.
That's okay.
And there it goes.
We're gonna move on to the doll.
So,
okay.
So this is the way her hair looks. We finger combed it, or you just part it with your fingers so you don't pull out any hair, so you don't have any knots. And here are her bloomers with the same trim as her dress. Now the next step for this young lady is we are going to wash her hair and then set it. And remember, she is a walker. That's why her arms are straight and her legs are straight, because she is a walker. So the way we wash her hair will be a little bit different than we would wash the hair of a doll that is a strung doll instead of a walking doll. So that's the next step. This is our young lady getting ready to be washed. She's our little walker we've been showing you. Sometimes walkers have a tendency for an eye to go back into her head a little bit when she is on her back. So to avoid that, while I'm washing her, I've just put a little bit of blue tape that isn't going to hurt at all, so that her eyes do not move. And I don't want them closed. I want them open, because if I did it closed, I would be putting the tape over her lashes, and I do not want to do that. So now I'm going to...
What is all this? Here.
Over here. This is watery, downy, free, and gentle. That's what we use for fabric softeners, so that's what we use. If you use a more potent one, that's fine. It won't hurt her hair. It's a synthetic. This is Suave, and that's all the shampoo we had to use. You can use baby shampoo or an organic shampoo or anything that makes you happy for the soap, because her hair is a synthetic. You don't want to use anything coarse, but you can just pick your own. So that's what we have for the moment, and that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to wash her hair, and because she's a walker, I'm just going to wash from side to side. I'm not going to lay her on her back. Hi, back again. Got her hair washed. Now I'm doing the same thing with the softener. Now, some people, when you have really damaged hair, they will let the softener stay on for a few hours. They might even let it soak overnight. Remember, it's a synthetic. It's not human hair wig. So it won't. It'll help it, maybe not even hurt it to let it soak. But this doll's hair is not damaged. So I'm going to treat her as if I was washing my own hair. I'm removing the blue tape. It worked beautifully. Didn't hurt her at all. And her eyes are in perfect place. And since her owner has decided, and I agreed with her, I'm sorry, I'm getting some of the excess water out. I agreed with her that with what she is going to be wearing in the end, that we don't want to have long flowing hair. So these are the 3 different size curlers, which I'm sure you've seen before or will see again on our site. Medium, we do have larges. These are medium, and then extra, but a little smaller, and then very small. We want a very tight curl up here for what she's going to be wearing. It's going to be a winter scene. She's going to have ice skates on. And a fur thing around her head and a fur cape. So we want her hair up here away from the cape. So we don't want the long and flowing. We're going to be using small rollers, which will give a very tight curl in here as it was in the 50s. Well, as you can see, I've combed her out and it goes through pretty easily. If you run into a piece, and there is a piece in here, I will finger it out. Remember, the skull cap, you can catch these tines on hair on the skull cap. Do not go all the way down to the skull cap when you are combing their hair. Do not go down, because you can catch part of the skull cap, which will rip out the hair. And that's what happened with little girls back 70 years ago. So as I got started to set her hair, I ran into something I didn't know was there. This is the edge of her wig cap, and I don't want it there. So what I am doing is trimming that with a very tiny pair of scissors. I am trimming that off.
Yeah, but you're not going to get any of the hair, right?
And you have to be so super careful, and you can see what I just did, that you do not trim any of her hair. So you don't see that through when you get the set done. You don't see it. But that you find a lot on Toni wigs. It's not uncommon. It's more common than not common. Here's our little walker. She's had her hair set. It's been up for days and days and days because life goes on. And didn't have time to take it down. So her this is a custom order. And so she's getting ready to go to her owner. And we are going to remove her curlers, and this is how we remove them. We've done that in the other tutorials, and we always save the end papers. It's cheaper that way.
Well, there she is.
And she's looking mighty warm.
Yes. I know this is a different format from the way that we have done videos in the past, but like I said before, this video was
one of our first.
Yeah. So she has on a custom muff and a custom cape that is lined, and you made the really pretty little doodad
in her hair.
Yep. And Well, since this was done so long ago, we can say that her owner was very pleased with her.
Absolutely pleased. Over the moon pleased. And that made us very happy.
Mm-hmm.
So redoing her trim on her dress and making it look... Oh, there is her, one of the slips I made, a custom slip. And her skates, I redid their skates. Well, her skates were vintage, and they needed some restoration. They restored well, and believe it or not, when I first saw this dress, I was going to discard it. But the owner wanted it, so I ironed it.
She did.
She in the trim, and it came out beautifully, and I added one of my custom slips to it, and her hair came out beautifully, just as their owner wanted it. So what's next week?
Next week, we actually know what we're doing next week. It's going to be an Ideal Sarah Ann, a P90, and she has a very long green dress.
Dotted Swiss, and she has saran hair.
Yeah. So what are you going to say, honey?
Well, I'm going to say that it is possible. Remember, it is possible to do it yourself.
Yep, you got it this time.
Surprise, surprise.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.